Hello, hello. We are here, guys. Last night, the internet was not my friend. It did not like me.
Talk about science.
Good afternoon and welcome to NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center. We are live today with NASA experts who are excited to share the latest images we have of the interstellar comet 3iAtlas. 3i means third interstellar, and Atlas refers to the NASA-funded Atlas Survey Telescope, which made the discovery. We are joined today by Amit Shathria, NASA's Associate Administrator, Nikki Fox, Associate Administrator for NASA's Science Mission Directorate, Sean Domagal-Goldman, Director for the Astrophysics Division, and Tom Statler, Lead Scientist for Solar System Small Bodies in the Planetary Science Division. We'll be taking questions from the media on the phone bridge and through social media, but before we get started, let's learn more about this fascinating comet and share some images. Amit, kick us off.
Hi, everyone. America leads the way in space exploration. As Courtney noted, a NASA-funded telescope, the Atlas Survey Telescope in Chile, first reported observations of the comet on July 1st, 2025 to the Minor Planet Center. And NASA has been tracking and studying Comet 3iAtlas ever since. We're here today to give you the latest of what we know about Comet 3iAtlas and what we still want to know. But first, what is a comet? It's a small, natural, solid body that is a combination of rocky and icy material that evaporates as it warms when it's close to a star like the sun. But to start with, I'd like to address the rumors right at the beginning. I think it's important that we talk about that. This object is a comet. It looks and behaves like a comet and all evidence points to it being a comet. But this one came from outside the solar system, which makes it fascinating, exciting, and scientifically very important. This is only the third interstellar object like this that humanity has ever found. And a little bit more about the rumors. I think it's very important, and I'm actually very excited that a lot of the world was speculating about the comet while NASA was in a period where we couldn't speak about it due to the recent government shutdown. I think what I took away from that whole experience and watching that as we were working during the shutdown was just how interested and how excited people were about the possibility of what this comet could be. There was a lot of speculation about what it could be, but what I think is really awesome is that folks were interested in this incredible finding that we observed and that came from the heavens, and what that means, what it could mean about how magical the universe could be. It expanded people's brains to think about how magical the universe could be. And I'll tell you, here at NASA, we think that every day. And so it's really great that you were able to join us while we were, not able to comment because of the shutdown constraints about what that comet is, because we think the universe is a magical place, and we spend your treasure and we spend all of our time trying to make sure that we explore that and share it with you as much as we can. In fact, we want very much to find signs of life in the universe. In fact, just a few months ago, we were with you and we talked about what we think might be the signal from ancient life on the surface of Mars, from our amazing machines that have been roving the planet for 30 years to look for those things. That is something that's really important for us to learn about and discover. It could be an amazing discovery if and when we can confirm that. But 3iAtlas is a comet. So my colleagues from the Science Mission Directorate will go through the images in detail, but just to give you a peek, here's one of the images from the closest physical instrument we had to the comet, from the HiRISE instrument on our Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, taken on October 2nd as the comet sailed by at a distance of 19 million miles from the instrument. You can see that Comet 3iAtlas looks like a fuzzy white ball. That ball is a cloud of dust and ice called the coma, which is shed by the comet as it continues its trajectory towards the sun. I'll leave it to my esteemed colleagues to share further details, and I'd like to introduce you to the head of NASA Science, Nikki Fox.
Thank you so much. It is such a rare opportunity for us to be able to observe this interstellar comet. And NASA Science has been given this really, really exciting opportunity to do it, and literally from the moment of its discovery. Just like Amit said, comets are tiny cosmic snowballs. And by studying them, we can learn about the environment from, basically where they formed, where they came from. This one came from a different environment from our own, and so we're already starting to see some really interesting differences to comets from our own solar system. 3iAtlas, as you heard, is the third known interstellar object to pass through our solar system, the first one being identified in 2017. While these types of interstellar objects have long been predicted, we are just beginning to be able to find them thanks to the newest technologies with our network of Earth-based telescopes, which are designed to find small, fast-moving objects in space. The NASA-funded ATLAS Survey Telescope, which made the discovery, is part of NASA's Planetary Defense Network. Our telescopes are always watching the skies to keep us safe, and in doing so, they occasionally make major scientifically interesting discoveries, just like this one. Right away, of course, NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office they studied it, and they established that 3iAtlas is not a danger to Earth. In fact, it's at least twice as far away as the distance between the Earth and our sun. On October 30th, the comet itself reached the closest it will ever be to the sun when it crossed just inside Mars's orbit, which is why the image that Amit just showed, he noted it was the closest instrument physically to the.
This is cap. Like I knew they were not going to tell the truth. But for them to outright say that this is a comet and to show that blurry, don't worry. I'm going to show you more images and videos of 3iAtlas, which breaks all laws of physics. It is perplexing the minds of scientists and astronomers around the world. This is so. They really are sitting here gaslighting us and then talking to us like children. It's so wonderful. So many of you are interested in it. And do they think that this is 1965? They're going to sit up there and tell us this mess? Okay, we'll continue, but I'm still here. Okay. Yep.
Comet, because the comet was right inside the orbit of Mars. Earth was on the opposite side of the sun, which is about as far away as our planet can possibly be from Mars. It's been clear from the moment of discovery that the comet was going to pass on the opposite side of the sun from where the Earth is. However, it was also clear that its positioning behind the sun was going to make observations from Earth very, very difficult. And that is why we are so happy to have our incredible fleet of NASA science spacecraft all across the solar system. And boy, were they ready for this event. NASA's science assets on board our missions have provided the United States the unique capability to observe 3iAtlas almost the entire time it passes through.
Hold on. Is the volume low? You guys are saying the volume's too low in the video. I have it at the max volume. Like, is it? I mean, she's not saying anything. Like, guys, she's not saying anything. I have it at the max volume, but I promise you it's just a bunch of BS.
Through our celestial neighborhood. Everything NASA science does is interconnected, and nearly 20 mission teams have been working together to really rise to this challenge. 20 mission teams, by the way, and counting. Everything we're learning about the comet is possible because of the distribution of all of the different instruments on our spacecraft with different capabilities. And I'll note that for some of them, we've even pushed our scientific instruments beyond their normal capabilities, beyond the things that they were designed to achieve to allow us to capture this amazing glimpse at this interstellar traveler. In other words, we can study this comet so well because we have many different assets in different locations, observing things in different wavelengths, in different ways, with different instruments, each set of observations providing a different lens for understanding for the first time ever. So I'll just quickly go through the timeline of which NASA spacecraft have observed the comet thus far, and we're still going. Orbit of Jupiter in spring of 2020. NASA, all of our data available to the public 24/7, and we invite, in fact, we really want.
She is saying absolutely nothing. I'm just skipping through it. This is just. It's insanity. Like literally everything that they're saying.
Want you to tell us what you're observing and what you think about what we're looking at. We're still
No, they turned off comments and they are not allowing the live chat. And if this is just a comment, why are they doing they never do a live stream for a comment, guys?
learning even about what questions we still need to ask. And this, of course, is the scientific process in action. All the data go to a public archive. We get those images as to tell you about what our astrophysics missions have seen. They, of course, were some of the first things to look at the comet, and images from several of them have been available since the beginning of the summer.
All our missions, they are designed to do things that would otherwise be impossible. In this case, our nation's space telescopes stare deeper and more sharply into the universe than any other observatories in the world. And that means we're often the first to follow up and study near-Earth objects, or we learn additional observation system. From our flagship space telescopes to smaller missions like TESS and SWIFT, they all have, as Nikki said, different complementary capabilities. They don't just do things that would otherwise be impossible. They do things that even our other great telescopes can't do. So every time we add to the fleet, we add additional capabilities that expand the realm of the possible. In this case, it let us refine the orbit of this structure early on, determine what its structure is and what its composition is, what it is made of. It's a beautiful illustration of why we have not just one space telescope, but a fleet of them, because every one member of that fleet specializes in a different kind of information, contributing a different piece of the puzzle to the total understanding we have from the fleet as a whole. So for example, Old Reliable, NASA's Hubble Space Telescope, celebrated its 35th birthday earlier this year. And not too long after that, in July, it looked at 3iAtlas, not long after we discovered it from the ground. At this point, 3iAtlas was about 277 million miles from Earth. And what Hubble's images revealed was a few things. First,
This is so bad. This is so bad. It's like a bad. Remember the after school specials? Okay. I'm an 80s baby. Okay. So we grew up with that. This is what this feels like, and they're telling us that this is our brain on drugs. What are we doing here?
Teardrop-shaped coma of dust coming off that just 3.5 miles in diameter. We figured out from watching those up.
Is this even worth watching? It's just a condescending. You guys are so interested in. We know. I can't even. This is so. Either they're trying to make it so boring that no one's going to really watch, or just are they just. I guess normies will just accept this, that this is a comet. Did you see? We have clearer images with regular people doing astrophotography that is better than this. And they claim all these telescopes. They got all these crafts and satellites and all of this up there. But the best image they can get is worse than the image people are getting down on Earth with their telescope. We're getting from other governments, what are we doing here? Okay, but let's let the gaslighting continue. Are you seeing in real time? They have this rover on Mars exploring it. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. They look like they're from Central Casting. Sorry, guys. I have two computer screens, so I'm looking both ways. But oh, wow. Tell us more, sir.
Now, the last thing Hubble did is it gave us a better understanding of the orbit of this object. Tell us not just where it was, but where it was heading, so we could point other observatories at it. So, and in those molecular fingerprints I mentioned, what's the rate to put this in context? System, and that's true for this comet as well. So,
okay. I'm gonna let it play just in the background. I just want to see images because all the stuff they're saying. I mean, do they think this is the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s? Like, do they think we are buying this? They obviously do. I told you the government was quiet for a reason. And NASA was quiet for a reason. They're blaming the shutdown, even though they said they were still working. They said that they were working during the shutdown. I don't know if he meant to say that, but they were working, but they couldn't tell us anything because of the government shutdown. But then when they finally come back, instead of just releasing images and all this stuff like they do normally, they're doing this whole this whole after school. Oh, wait, they're switching up. Hold on. What they got?
Before we get started, I just want to remind everybody of where we are, who is where in this play. As you saw in the animations while Nikki was speaking, the sun, of course, is at the center of our solar system. The planets are orbiting around the sun, and in this case, Comet 3iAtlas has come through on a trajectory in the opposite direction and has arrived at its closest point to the sun when the Earth was on the wrong side for us to conveniently observe. But Mars was on the correct side of the sun, and our Mars assets were.
Okay. Who believes this? Who believes this? Why have they disabled comments? Why have they disabled the chat? I'm going to look for more people talking about this, and because this is wild. This is wild. But we'll listen to your boy go on and on. But I promise we're not going to just stick with this, guys. Listen. I trust me. You already know where this is about to go in a few minutes when I get into it.
Remember when Psyche was able to see the mission. So before that, though, in August, we organized a workshop. We organized a coordination session for the missions across the NASA fleet that had good opportunities for potentially observing 3iAtlas so that we could all share observing plans and knew what was going to be possible with our assets. I can't emphasize enough now how, thanks to the cooperation of so many mission teams, we will be accumulating a wealth of data on this comet that the science community will be digging into for years. Now, let's go back to September, and I can show you a sampling of the images collected by our different mission teams. To set the context, you're going to see a comet that's a small body with a coma around it, basically a fuzzy blob.
Muted. Okay, you already know. You already know. So while they're going on and on, this is stuff we've already had, we've already seen. This is the same BS propaganda that they put out before. But let's look at what people have to say on the internet. Okay, let's see what let's see what people have to say. Hold on, I'm trying to fix this up so you guys can see it. This is wild. This is just, I don't even have words. Okay, we're going to share this instead. Let me make this bigger. Yeah, I just got myself small so we can just focus because this is just. So let's see what people are saying. And I still have it planned. If something phenomenal happens and they actually show us the truth, we'll pop back in. But this is 3iAtlas whistleblower. NASA photo release. This is one of NASA's photos they just released. A terrible, blurry image. Disappointed to say the least. Billions in funding. And this is the best photo that they've got on October 2nd. Oh, so this is a picture from October 2nd? Oh, geez. I didn't even catch that part because I couldn't take it. Looks more like a weather balloon in a foggy backyard. Child. NASA has had 3iAtlas images and data for over 6 weeks now. Plenty of time to make adjustments to these images. Well, clearly not. They don't even have a good enough PSYOP to come up with. They're just sticking to the script. I say NASA's. Oh, this is NASA. This is their official thing. I don't want to hear that mess. I gotta find like the latest. Like I'm only some of this stuff is old. It's not from right now. Let me see the latest. Oh, people are just posting whatever. Said NASA 3iAtlas live stream is a snoozer. Nothing more to learn here. That's what they want people to walk away from this and say. People who haven't been watching this. This is wild. Yeah, people are just making fun of it. Best NASA picture of 3iAtlas. Enjoy. Congratulations, NASA. You have lost all credibility with this blurry hogwash photo. Anyone over there who cares about Earth should dump the entire unedited image archive to WikiLeaks while your planet still has time. I just read that one. Okay, someone was just stating the obvious. What? Yeah, I gotta wait to get more stuff coming in. So this person says, sometimes it's quite easy to see red tape. The question is, why are they lying? Why are they lying, guys? What have I been telling you? What have I been telling you? Reading a script, they've had media training, unlike the homie in the film Don't Look Up. And they talking about their live stream now is in both live chats. Oh, somebody, Stephen Burns Geo. Oh, he's really good. Actually, let's tune into his. Let's turn to Stephen Burns. He does a really good job keeping us up to date with things. I don't know where he stands with certain things, but oops. Uh-oh. Wait, I didn't cut you guys off. Hold on one second. Let me make this. This is just absolutely ridiculous, guys. We're going to get more into it because I'm just like, there's no point. Okay. He's live streaming. Let me see what he's saying really quickly before I put it in. Okay, it looks like he's just watching it now, but I'll be interested to see what other people are saying. But I'm trying to look at his comments right now on his live stream and what people are saying. Yeah, people are calling it BS. Everyone's just calling it, this is absolutely a joke. They're lying to the American people. Like this, they're just laughing emojis, it's just a bunch of jokes and just talking about how dumb and horrible this is, how disappointed they all are. It's a bunch of BS and garbage. Well, hopefully this wakes up some of these scientists. And I didn't even share it. I'll share it with you guys. So this is what I'm looking at. Let me see.
Fills the entire field. And NASA's Solar and Heliospheric Observatory, or SOHO, also successfully imaged 3iAtlas from October 15th to 16th after it had passed Mars. And SOHO spotted the comet crossing its field of view.
Okay, I'll mute that until we can get back until he starts talking or saying something, because I want to get the scientific community's reaction to this BS, to these lies. How are they going to still prop up NASA and believe the science and everything that they've taught us when this is clearly a lie? And they're giving us these blurry images. Okay. Just to remind you guys, again, he's not saying anything. This is embarrassing, honestly, at this point. This is embarrassing. Let me go to, we've had all this already. I don't know if you guys saw this. This is a very interesting thing, okay? This was going off everywhere yesterday. I didn't get a chance to get to it. I was hoping NASA was going to talk about it, but look at this. And this is all over. It says NASA just cut the feed on its Skycam. This was yesterday. Everyone was talking about it. Oh, wait. Hold on. This guy is back. Let me see if he's saying something. Okay. He's just looking at their images. It says an enemy warship turning off its cloaking device. Nothing to see here. Maybe they're planning to watch the big NASA show on TV tomorrow. So this object, let me rewind it so you can see. So watch this. So this is their live feed. All of a sudden, this object, which looks like people are calling it a Dorito, where it's like the shape, it doesn't make any sense. And it's also see-through. Can you tell? Look, you can see the stars and things behind it. So it's clear, but it's like an all one object going together. The three things in the back and the other thing in the front, and then you can see everything in the middle in that black void. So when this happened, they cut their live feed. You could actually hear them talking in the background. I don't know if I have that video. But this is insanity. This is what I showed you. Now, this is from Ray's Astrophotography, who's on YouTube. I showed you guys that yesterday. And you can see, I don't know if the image that we just saw, the red one, the clear Dorito, if it's the same thing, if it's a different thing. I think they're hiding multiple things. But you can see these rings moving around it. And Ray identified 5 of them. But it's moving almost like a flower pattern. Okay. This is another one. I believe this is from Ray as well, which is better than what they're showing us now. What is this? I am just, let me play this for you. This was something I wanted to play yesterday. I didn't get a chance to. But listen to what he says.
So you've studied the extraterrestrial phenomenon for over 30 years, even having some members of our intelligence community help you with your investigation. With all of your knowledge, what would you tell the American people?
Run.
Excuse me?
Run.
I don't know where this full interview is, but he just said run. Run. I am. Okay. So let's see. Oh, Ray is live right now. Let's see what Ray is. Okay. He's just watching it. I don't think he's saying anything. And yeah, I'll show you this.
Has been in interstellar space for a very long time.
So I'm sure Ray's going to come on and talk, but look, you see, Ray has up there in the corner just a video that he took. Okay. And now this is from his backyard, November 16th. November 16th. They're not even giving us this. They're not even giving us this. And they have the highest telescopes. They have the satellites. They claim they're up there. So they're closer and they can't even give us this. But yet they claimed, if you guys remember the farting blueberry that they first put out, and then this blurry image of just nothing, and claiming it's a comet. I'm going to get through and show you guys why it's not a comet, why everyone has said it's not. Wait, what's happening?
Bill, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Tell me again. This is Bill Harwood again. Can you hear me?
We have you loud and clear.
Okay, thanks. Sorry about that. I mentioned the rumors that were, kind of scurrying around about this thing in the weeks leading up to this briefing today. But I'm asking the question anyway. And number 2, is there any evidence you see in any of the data you have that would fit an explanation like that? Or as far as you're concerned, does all of this data say conclusively that this is simply a comet that happens to be passing through the solar system? Thanks.
So I'll take that one, Bill, and thanks for the question. We love all of the different science and all of the different kind of hypotheses into what these things can be. When you start seeing something, you just got to point. It's natural to wonder, what it is. And we actually love, as Amit said, we love that the world wondered along with us. And that's such a cool thing. We certainly were able, because of the measurements that Sean described from the astrophysics telescopes that immediately turned on this object once we found it. And even, I was interested, I just learned that we'd actually gone back and actually seen it before we even found it. So that was super cool. I just heard that from Sean. But, we were very quickly able to look for sort of, the easiest thing to do, I'll put it in a different way, is if you understand comets pretty well and you understand asteroids pretty well, you kind of know the signatures that you're looking for. And so you can sort of look for those quickly and tick them off and say, yep, it really does behave like a comet. The interesting thing that, Tom, I know if I throw this to him in a second, he's going to geek out about it. But the really cool thing about this is the differences, because it comes from somewhere else. And that's why we're so excited about it. It's only the third time that we've been able to identify and track something coming from outside our own solar system. We've long predicted these things occur. And now, of course, we know better how to look for them, and we now have this amazing Atlas array. We're expecting we'll find a lot more of them, but it was quick. We were quick to be able to say, yep, it definitely behaves like a comet. We certainly haven't seen any techno signatures or anything from it that would lead us to believe it was anything other than a comet. But the super cool thing is not that it's exactly like all the comets that we see in our solar system. It's the differences that are so tantalizing for us as it gives me goosebumps too. It could be from something that existed before our own solar system. That is so cool. It's from something that predates even our own star. Yep, it's going to look different because it didn't come from our solar system, and that's what makes it so magical. You want to geek out a little bit, Tom?
You were geeking out so expertly, Nikki, to begin with. So that was fabulous. But that's exactly right. I mean, things from other places, we naturally expect them to be different from our own homegrown variety. And I like to imagine if you're fortunate enough to have grown up in Hawaii and you only drank Kona coffee, you love your Kona coffee, and then somebody says to you, well, gee, have you tried Sumatran? You're going to say, well, do you expect it to be different? And they'll say, why don't you try this? And you try it and you say, wow, that's really different. And you realize, well, I expected this to be different because it was from someplace else. It was a different environment in Sumatra. Now, does that one sip of coffee tell you everything about the weather in Sumatra and the soil and the people who harvest the coffee? Bless them. Of course not, but it's different, and yet it's still coffee. And that's what we have in this case.
What?
A cometary body, it behaves.
What? They are talking to us as though we are slow, and not just slow, but we are children fresh from the womb. And we're just going to believe this. I'm looking for where I put all of the anomalies it's straight up lying. Everyone is saying it. Now it's more and more coming out. They're screenshotting them and talking about it. But it's like if you're used to Kona coffee and then this is the best that they could present to us, guys. These people, this explanation, these lies, this is the best they could do. And I want you to understand, this is the best. Mm-hmm.
And those that are supported by the evidence are the ones that survive.
All right, we'll take our next question on the phone bridge. And that one comes from Matthew Glasser with ABC.
Good afternoon. Thank you for doing this. Tom mentioned that the answers will come in time. I'm curious about what are some of the hopes that we might discover from this comet. What might it tell us about our planet, about our solar system, about the universe? Are there key things you're looking for as you start to analyze this data? And are you excited about anything in particular when it comes to better understanding how things are working out there?
Sure, I can take that. Every new object we discover is a new piece in the puzzle. What we're trying to do always is to understand the universe. That's part of the NASA mission, is to understand the solar system, understand the universe, understand the origin of planets, the origin of life. And And that is a huge question. And we get little bits, little clues to parts of that puzzle, and we start trying to put that puzzle together. We have gained tremendous amount of information from hundreds of years of astronomical observation and from decades of in situ spacecraft observation has revealed our planets as actual places, not just points in the sky that you could barely see with your own eyes. We've learned about comets and asteroids, and we're beginning to put together a picture of how all of those planet-forming minerals and planet-forming ices came together to form our planets, and how our solar system changed over time. Just one example, we get a fascinating clue from the objects like Pluto that we've been discovering since the 1990s, the trans-Neptunian objects. The way they are distributed through space in the outer solar system show us clues to how the orbits of the major planets may have changed over time in the early solar system. A fascinating thing, and questions that we would never have thought to ask before we knew about these trans-Neptunian objects. Now, interstellar objects, like I said before, are new windows, and it's windows that we've never even looked out of before. So what we're going to find is way too early to predict, but I think we're getting a hint of the
Sorry, guys. I just realized I'm muted. Lies, deception, guys. I'm gonna have to restart this browser in a second because it just died out. But they're not saying anything. They are just lying. But look at what people are saying. Avi Loeb will never financially recover from his bogus claims and wild TV appearances. This is somebody that's glazing NASA, saying that he said, oh, this guy is saying everyone who gave him attention should be ostracized going forward. It's a comment and always was shameful for him to exploit the shutdown to spout his nonsense. 3iAtlas is just a comment. Don't worry. He'll have some new wild claims soon. Okay. Nobody. Then another person's put, we're F. 3iAtlas is not a comment. Some of this stuff is old. But we'll get back into it. Guys, what are you thinking? What are they hiding? We know what they're hiding. I told you they were going to gaslight us. I didn't know it'd be this bad. But this is what's happening right now. What do you think about it? Everything shows that this is not a comet. All scientists are saying this is not a comet, but yet they come on with these blurry images and they're not even showing as much. It's a bunch of, listen, I ain't talking about people. It's just a bunch of people, gaslighters, sitting up there condescendingly talking to us like we're too slow. Oh, here, wait, let me see. Wait. Hold on. Can you hear it? You guys can't hear it? No audio on it? Why is there no audio? Let me stop sharing for a second. Let me redo it. But they're not, okay. Let's see. Tell me if you can hear it.
It's come into our solar system, our sun. We know, we think it hasn't seen a star for a long time. So it's actually warming up and giving us more information. It isn't just about a frozen object coming through and us sort of saying, oh, look, there's a frozen object moving through. But as it's almost waking up and showing us its composition, and that's allowing us to be able to do this great science. If it had just remained frozen all the time, we wouldn't know much about it. But it is the sort of its rendezvous with our star that is allowing us to really do this amazing science. And that to me it makes me feel almost privileged to actually be able to unlock the secrets as this cometary object is coming around and rendezvousing and interacting with our solar system.
All right, let's head over to social media. Nina on X asks, will it hit any planets in our solar system?
No, it will not. I think if you, obviously we're not going to run it again, but please, go online, take a look at go.nasa.gov/3i-atlas and take a look at the trajectory. I kind of talked through it briefly. Tom talked through it, and you can sort of see where those planets are. And remember this, even though it's exciting and it's coming through, space is huge, as both Sean and Tom talked about. And so the probability of it actually hitting anything is super, super small. You have to have all these things aligned to actually be able to do it. But certainly the objects in our solar system will be just fine.
And we have another question from social media from Astronomeum. They ask, what makes Comet 3iAtlas so different and intriguing compared to the other interstellar comets?
Tom, you want to take that?
The other interstellar objects, we say interstellar objects because not all of them were comets. So the first one was discovered in 2017. That was 1I Oumuamua that behaved very much like an asteroid. Again, a little bit like 3iAtlas, a very interesting asteroid, in some ways different from the asteroids we're accustomed to seeing in our solar system. For one thing, it was seemed to be very, very elongated. And while it was inactive, it seemed to be an inert, mostly rocky object. It did show indirect indications that it was evaporating gases in some way. It was.
Okay, it's looking choppy on the stream. I think it's even messing up my thing. Can you guys hear me and see me? What are we doing here? I am still trying to find this original post that I have about this. Hold on, let me refresh this, guys, real quick so we don't. I'm gonna stop sharing that for a second and see if I need to refresh. Let me refresh. I'm here. I had to refresh because I'm actually disgusted. It's one thing. I mean, we've seen all the lies about the government, the cover-ups. People are investigating different things going on right now. But it's just for it to just be out here and they just don't care. Everyone is tearing this apart. You have a few bots that are glazing them and saying that this is, yeah, NASA's telling the truth. But it's just embarrassing at this point because we all know that's how? How is this the truth? We have better images from amateurs on the ground on Earth, but yet you're closer with all this stuff you claim is in space. We know you can't break the firmament. So that's really where they're struggling right now. Now that we know they can't break it. Okay. We know they can't break it. So they've got to do, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do right now. Let me see if I can find this thing, guys. What? And if you have any super chats, I'll read those in a second. I'm just trying to find. I hate when I save something, but I don't put it in the correct folder. So then I'm just like struggling to find exactly where it is. But I'm absolutely, I guess this is the way it's always been. I just never paid attention to it because I recently, I would say I would consider it recent where I woke up and I'm seeing all of this stuff. Sorry, I'm just going through and picking out which one I want to share. But it's like to just see it live and to know that single thing that they are mentioning is a complete and total lie. They haven't mentioned anything about the Aurora Borealis or anything else. But then they finally give us this live stream, and this is all we're getting. This is all we're getting. Is this the one? All right, let's just see if they're saying anything. Yeah, I'll share it some more while this is going on.
Dust was also unusual, so that's telling us some interesting things about the dust. There are other indications that the physical properties of this dust, maybe the grain size distribution, might be different from the sorts of things that we're used to. The appearance of a sunward tail early on
Wow.
in the trajectory was part of that, an indication that the dust was being pushed off the comet on the sunward side, and then it took a while for the solar radiation pressure to push it back the other way. That's been seen before in other comets, but not very often. I'm sorry, Ken, what was the second part of the question?
Explosion.
Did it?
Helium.
Jets. Yeah. The jets. Right. So seeing activity, seeing more activity in the inner coma around the nucleus, right around the time of perihelion, when it's being warmed most intensely, is something that happens frequently. That's something the comet observers are going to be very, very excited about. It does take some time to figure out, because it takes time for the actual event that happens on the surface to propagate out to a distance where you can see it with a telescope, but people are going to be mapping what jets there are. It doesn't necessarily mean there was an explosion. Jets can also just mean there are particularly active areas on the surface of the comet where more volatile stuff is evaporating in that one spot than elsewhere and jetting out. We saw this a decade ago with the ESA Rosetta mission at Comet 67P. It got up close and personal with the nucleus and saw frequently that there were jets coming out from specific places on the nucleus of the comet. So that could very well be what's going on here. Can't tell for sure, but that's the sort of thing we've seen before.
The other thing I just want to say that we're expecting to see as more stuff gets thrown off this comet in these jets is at those warmer temperatures, additional things can bake off of it, additional gases can bake off. And so we do expect the composition of the coma to potentially change, or those jets to change over time. And looking at the details of what other molecules we detect beyond the carbon dioxide and water we mentioned is also going to be interesting, especially for that sort of like, what was the area in this, what was this stuff made of in the area it was made, like a long time ago.
Our next question is from David Chandler with Sky and Telescope.
Yes, a couple of things. Have you any of these observations showing you anything about any non-gravitational accelerations at this point? And also, can you say a little bit about coming attractions? What observations are in the pipeline that have been made but not released yet? I think the MRO high-rise observations, has that been released yet? And what else is there that's either in the can and waiting to come out, or observations that will be made over the coming weeks as the object comes closer to Earth?
Mm-hmm. I can answer some of that about the non-gravitational accelerations. This is something that we look very closely at for every comet, because that's always something that happens. And just to back up to explain what the question is that as comets evaporate, they are blowing off gas, they are blowing off dust, and every time something gets pushed off the comet, that acts like a little rocket engine at that moment and pushes in the other direction. And so it's very, very common to see comets have subtle changes in their orbits as a result of these little rocket forces, just called non-gravitational accelerations. So this is being monitored very closely. I spoke to our orbit determination team of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory earlier this week, and what they said is that this is being monitored. There are some changes to the orbit, but the uncertainties are still fairly large. It's difficult because we can't see the nucleus directly. It's difficult to get a very, very precise track on exactly where it's going. But so far, the non-gravitational accelerations have been very much on par with the sort that we see in solar system comets.
In terms of future observations, this is a situation where, because this is only the third time we've had an opportunity to look at an object like this, everyone that is in control of a telescope wants to look at it because it's a fascinating and rare opportunity. I know that our colleagues from the Keck Observatory have looked at it. I believe that we're going to look at it again with JWST in December. We have some other ground-based facilities that are giving us additional compositional information as those additional molecules bake off of 3iAtlas. Those are the things I'm aware of. There's probably a lot more that I'm not, because like I said, like every astronomer wants to get data on this thing because it's such a rare opportunity.
You're not aware of certain data that's out there. Child, let me show. Okay. Because again, they're just nonsense. Nonsense. I'll let it play in the background. I'm just seeing more questions come in. They're just okay. Now this is from, what is it? Yeah, yesterday. The elephant in the NASA room. NASA's about to show the latest images of 3iAtlas, but they're from July. Meanwhile, independent astronomers are posting November photos full of details and anomalies everyone can see in real time. Impossible to ignore the obvious. Like I told you guys, I'm not the only one seeing this. I'm not the only person, but oh, she's getting spicy. Hold on.
The fact that it looks in the ultraviolet.
Oh, she's just explaining some more BS. Wait, is the live over?
We'll take some
from the fact that
Wait, what's the other question?
Next question on social media. Elijah on X asks, what kind of processing were the images subjected to and why did they need it?
You want to take that?
The images that were released received the sort of standard processing that we do between the raw data that comes down into a telescope. That, as Nikki said, we need to make sure for scientific accuracy that they're calibrated against the other observations, and we account for anything that the telescope is doing in that moment. And so that it would be our standard set of calibrations and normalizations for a object of this type, which is to say a comet.
I can add a little bit more to that. As Nikki said, our desire was to get these images out to the public as quickly as possible. And so there are some image artifacts in there that you'll see. And I can speak to the Lucy image that you saw previously. If you look at the comet, you'll see some blobs around the comet. Little blobs, faint blobs around the comet are not real. It came from the fact that in order to get this particular view, it was necessary, which is this backlit view, the team had to turn the spacecraft to face more toward the sun than it generally does. And so that means some part of the spacecraft were in the sun, and some of that bright, the sunlight reflected off parts of the spacecraft got into the camera, and that resulted in those little blobs. So that's an example of processing that has yet to be done to figure out exactly what that scattered light contribution was and remove that from the image so that what we show in the image is entirely what was there in the sky and not something just made by sun glints off the spacecraft hardware.
Yeah, and sometimes I think you showed the Soho image where we actually stacked a couple of images, because a single image, you wouldn't be able to see it. It would be too faint. But if we stack a couple of images together, then you can actually start to really make out what that comet looks like.
Okay, next, Gail on Facebook asks, how can an object like 3iAtlas come from so far, moving as fast as it is, and not hit anything?
Orbital dynamics and space is really, really huge. And so, it is amazing to think about just how big even our solar system. And so to give you the Voyager spacecraft, Voyager 1 is now 1 light day away from Earth, which means when we send a command or we send a photon from Earth, it takes a full day for that photon to arrive at Voyager. And Voyager is only just outside kind of what we think of as the edge of our solar system. And so space is vast. Yes, this thing is moving quickly, and yes, it came from outside our solar system. But the probability of it actually hitting something is so small, as everything has to align. It's also not quite in the ecliptic plane. It's not quite in like our normal. If you think about sort of looking side on at our solar system with the sun, and then you put the planets kind of in a row. Normally, everything's sort of.
Child, let me share this tab. So Astronomy Vibes is putting, is it a joke what NASA has put out? Like everyone is saying this is a joke. This is horrible. But there is a particular post where they actually lay out all of the anomalies. Let's get this like this so I can find it. You guys are watching me in real time. I didn't know I was going to have to do this, but clearly I do. Clearly I do. I'm going to pop this back on for one more second just so I can just get to it so you guys aren't just watching me search. Sorry, I know these people are insufferable, but hey, It's science, guys. Trust the government. They love us. They would never lie to us. Who would dare? Government would never lie. Come on now, guys. Don't be a conspiracy theorist. Put away your tinfoil. Ciao.
Orbits in this plane. This is slightly tipped, not unusual because it's not gravitationally bound to our sun, but it's slightly tipped. That makes the probability of it hitting it almost even greater.
If I can play with a scale model solar, if you make a scale model solar system where the sun and the earth are 1 foot apart, that's about 1 foot. The sun is a P, the earth you need a magnifying glass to see, it's so small. The entire solar system will just barely fit in your house if you squeeze a little bit, and the next nearest star is over 50 miles away. So they call it space for a reason. Most of it is space.
Okay, we'll head back to our phone bridge. Our next question is from Brandon Spector with Live Science.
Hi, I wanted to ask about the age of the comet. You mentioned there's circumstantial evidence that it's much older than our solar system, but how can we constrain that age a little more? And what will that tell us if it is indeed much, much older than the solar system?
I can start that, but I'm going to pass it to Sean to talk about ages in the galaxy.
Okay.
So, so cutting to the end, the bottom line is going to be, it's probably going to be really hard to get a more precise figure from one object. I think what we're looking at in the future, as we discover more of these, when we get to the point where we have maybe a few dozen of them and look at the distribution and properties, we may be able to get a better handle on what the distribution of ages is. So what's going on here is that it takes the sun 240 million years to orbit around the center of the galaxy, and we're doing that with a neighborhood of stars. So we're all going around the center of the galaxy. The relative motions between stars in our solar neighborhood is sort of 10-ish, 15, and sorry, I have all these numbers in my head in metric because that's the way I learned them, but 10 or 15-ish kilometers per second. So what is that? That's about 25,000 miles an hour, I think. And 3iAtlas is coming through at a speed of 60-something kilometers per second. So that's 3 times faster than the average of our local neighborhood.
Let me see. They're laughing about something.
And because 3iAtlas is in our solar system, we can get the images and the compositional information with JWST. As it got closer to some of the planetary spacecraft Tom was talking about.
Look at this. Scientists, astronomers are laughing at NASA. Laughing at NASA, guys. Laughing, look, cracking up over there. Somebody, what did it say? Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro, amateur astronomer. This is what they're saying to us. They're laughing. I'm going to keep his live going as I search for. I cannot find the succinct list I had before. I did it in my other live stream. I may have to pull up my own live stream to find it. They're deleting accounts and posts.
We can see for 3iAtlas what we've seen.
So because we're closer to the grains of sands on Mars, right? And so the JWST can only get like these single pixel blobs of the faintest galaxies, the furthest away galaxies in our universe. And because 3iAtlas is in our solar system, we can get the images and the compositional information with JWST. As it got closer.
Look at your boy laughing at them. Laughing. Let me see what his live stream is saying, because I know they were really funny a minute ago. This is Stephen Burns. This is just, yeah, people are saying it's a cover up, it's fake. I feel like a child. Wow, NASA, wow. Guys, no one is believing. This is where is it $64 million a day that goes to NASA? I have my theories on what NASA is really doing with that money. I mean, we know it. Again, this is speculation, theory, entertainment purposes only. But I think it goes into the pockets of a lot of people because they're not exploring space. That doesn't exist. They haven't been past the firmament. They maybe they're doing things past the ice wall, or maybe they're building. This is all going to their, oh, wait, is it over? Let me see.
That was very fun, at least for me in the driver's seat. Hearing the questions, reading the chat. Oh, I had a good time. That was great. Oh, yeah. Okay. So let me give you my thoughts.
Wait. Guys, I don't know why it's playing this music now. Oh, okay.
We can
Coach here to tell you about an all-star bundle. It's
Disney
Plus, Hulu, and ESPN. And right now you can get all three with special.
I think he's trying to get to something. All right.
Once that stream is going, you can't really turn it off. Let me get set up.
I'm still here. I'm still here, guys. I'm still here. I'm just going to come off for a second because I have to find this thing and I don't want to be distracted. But we'll see what he has to say. We'll see what he has to say about it.
Okay, and we have our comparison images. Now, not everyone is in agreement with this here. That's fine. You're never going to get agreement with everybody in life. But I think this is a pretty good. I think this is personally. I think this is just a really good image from an amateur astronomer who applied some photo correction, but didn't make up any enhancements. I think they just clarified the image for us. And this is the best image that we have from NASA. So I mean, that's also the closest image, right? Because this is from Mars, so this is really close up. But in general, I guess I just, I honestly don't want to speak too much. I would say that I don't think any of those people are bad people. I also don't think they were the main scientists or anything involved. They seem to be more kind of behind the scenes management people because there were certain things that they didn't really know. Or they were I think it's going 60 something kilometers per second. I think it's that. So they weren't I think Borisov is in 2019. They weren't right on top of it with the facts. So I think they were the media management people, not the main scientists who know this stuff. And I don't think that they're bad people. Okay. So the live stream was hilarious in terms of everything. But press people, not scientists. But I don't want to. We don't need to be rude or disrespectful here. It's okay to have a little bit of fun, but they're doing the best they can. Like the people in the live stream, just those 5.
Let me say this is the best they can do because this is what they're allowed to say. This is the official narrative that they've come up with. And they've brought out these bureaucrats to give us this information. And he's even saying they're not technical. I don't know anything about this, I'm not going to study all that because I told you where my faith and trust lies and what I know. But even he is saying this is all his channel does. Okay. He's been pretty much, I would say, the leader in showing people things. And of course, he believes in space and all of that. And he's trying to be nice because in that community, you'll be ostracized if you say NASA's lying, if you come right out, if you do that. So they're all kind of nervous about putting it out there. But I will say it is BS. They're lying. Okay. None of that makes any sense. They didn't know what they were talking about. And we're hearing it from technical people who know these things. So why would we believe anything that they're talking about? He can be nice to them. I'm not holding their hands through this gaslighting. I mean, this is straight up disgusting what we just saw. Disgusting. And there is no middle ground. No middle ground. But I know other people have to be a little bit more tame than us over here. But his own chat is tearing it apart.
People, I think, and the camera people, everything, they know that people are interested in this, and props for them to take all their different spacecraft and point it at 3iAtlas over the course of time. But why it took them so long to release this imagery is honestly pretty crazy. Because I mean, they should have released that on October 3rd. This is October 2nd. probably didn't take that long to process. I mean, we see this guy process it. He takes in the morning and then releases it within a few hours, right? This should have been released on October 3rd. So you just got to be real. And some people just aren't real nowadays, right? And yeah, government shut down, but they're taking the time to respond to Kim Kardashian on Twitter. So it's like, are you actually shut down? I was at the airport talking to TSA, and they hadn't taken any pay for like 5 weeks at that point. They're still out there working and hustling, you know, real good, honest people, you hope. So yeah, just let me get this next image up. The best image, supposedly, without the additional filler. Here, let's put this one up on the screen. This is supposedly the best image that they have of 3iAtlas from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. And I mean, I really don't even know what to say. I don't even really know what to say. There is some stuff to say here. You'll notice that we do have a pretty high pixel density here. If we're done with the joke show, we notice that there is a pretty high pixel density here. So what we can do, and we can actually do this right now. Let's figure out, well, I'm not sure we're going to be able to. Okay, yeah, no, we should be able to. We're doing it live, baby. We're doing it live. Let us open up Photoshop. Here we go. Let me switch over. Okay, so we are going to figure out the brightest pixel and the size of that pixel right now. Because, you know, my commentary at the end of the day, what does it matter? And I'm going to kind of have to guesstimate on this brightest pixel. There's probably some Python script or something that exists that I could find it. But let us first calculate. We see 932 miles here. Let's see how many pixels this is. Okay, so I'll go from the inside to inside. That's 75 pixels across. Okay, 75 pixels for 932 miles. And punch in on this. Oh, that one's pretty bright right there. Let's punch out one more time. I mean, this one is looking the brightest to me. What do you guys say? This pixel? I mean, they're all about the same brightness at this point. There's kind of a zone. There's like a zone like right here that looks pretty much the same. Use a color picker. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna. Okay. Let's punch back in on that one that I thought was brighter. I mean, it pops right out. Yeah, that's definitely not as bright. That one's moving up. If you're watching in the color picker, watch that little circle go up. That'll show if it's brighter. That one looks to be the brightest. I mean, it shows up really clearly. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that like pops right out to me. What do you guys think? Top left of that zone? Yeah, so maybe it's almost easier to see on my OBS screen here. Right here. Someone's saying invert. Okay, let's try it out. We can do an invert function. Yeah, that kind of helps. Or we can even do a levels function. Let's see what we can. Yeah, that one was definitely one of the brighter ones. Okay, here we go. Now we're using our brain cells, guys.
I'm gonna let that play. He's just trying to sharpen up their image, but we can just keep watching it. Hit the like button. Thank you for your super chat. Vash Stampede 424. I said it. I got it. Lean 62812 says they can see other galaxies, but they can't take a clear photo of something in our own backyard. Liars. Yes. Thank you for becoming a member, Chuck Culverhouse. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Nathan, I think is like Q with the 3BX. Okay. Melanie, my eyes are open now as a believer, but I think there's a very strong case to be made to all of us that when the little season of Satan's deception, Jesus may have already come back. No, I've seen that everywhere. This also goes with Christ consciousness. I've played videos debunking that, and there's a lot of reasons why I do not believe in that. I do not believe in that at all. I can play a video to show you where that theory comes from, and then we can go through debunking it. Okay, people are, a lot of people believe that, and that is because of the gaps in our history that they've lied about, and where we have no information. And then when you'd see the Tartarian Empire, which I started to play last night, and what that was, if you guys don't know, it messed up in the middle, which is it's a great video. We'll redo it today. But I believe that people are trying to, they pick and choose different verses and don't really actually go through every single prophecy, specifically what is said in the Bible. But then there's a lot we can get into with it. But I probably will play one of Ashley's videos that debunks this. She's also done it about the tribulation, about rapture, really going through the scripture and showing you piece by piece, point by point, what is going on. And she does use also references the Apocrypha, okay, and tying that in and why she does that. And anyway, guys, it's a whole thing. I do not believe that we're in that. And not only has it been debunked, but in my spirit, a lot of things, some people are just going to believe it, and that's fine. That's on you. But I know for me and what the Lord has put in my heart, even having me speak on these things, and then I'm seeing all these signs come together, these signs and wonders, and the digital ID, which is essentially the groundwork for the beast system, the pandemics that they have coming out. I have more information about these vaccines, having a vaccine passport, and then them even saying that they need to know who has the vaccines. There needs to be some type of, they got to be able to identify these people in public. I think when that drops, okay, that is when you're going to have something on your right hand or your forehead to mark that. We can get into, AI, the things that have been said by Elon Musk and many others, Larry Ellison, the WEF. You tie that together with what's happening in Jerusalem with the Ark of the Covenant and building of the third temple. And then you get these signs and wonders. Then we had the Aurora Borealis everywhere. To me, that all adds up to what the Word of God has said, to look for these signs, okay, of what's going to happen. Just having the Tartarian Empire and them lying about our history, that's not going to be enough for me. And just like picking and choosing and cherry picking scriptures, I don't want any arguments about it. I really don't. It's okay to ask the questions, but it's just not true. It's just not true. It's just not true. It's just not. If you want to believe you're in Satan's little season, have at it. If you believe there is no rapture and you're gonna fight through tribulation, listen, who am I? At the end of the day, we're gonna find out what's truth, right? We're gonna find out what's the truth. So no need to argue about it. I'm just telling you where I stand, and I've done my research. So all right, let's listen back to what the good brother Stephen Burns is saying.
Then we could probably build out the size of the nucleus a bit more, but it does seem to be pretty isolated there. It's hard to say. I mean, we're really kind of just grasping at straws with this. I mean, you see a little bit of a pocket right there. Let me highlight that. I can almost see it. Yeah, well, this screen I'm looking at is better screen. So it's kind of like.
And that's another point. A lot of people are saying it's going to be Project Bluebeam. I told you I did not. And I said this. A lot of people were saying this is Project Bluebeam, Project Bluebeam. The reason why I did not think it was Project Bluebeam is because they would be loud about it. The government would be loud about it. NASA would be loud about it. For me, I think they are caught off guard. Clearly, they have better images. They know. Everyone is clowning this as complete foolery. It's what they're presenting. And we can get into more of the comments that are now populated on X. But for Project Bluebeam, I think we haven't even gotten into the orbs that people are seeing all around the world and recording it. All the seismic activity that's going on the earth. These are all things that the Bible says to look for. Okay, these signs and wonders. But with Project Bluebeam, I think this has taken them aback so much. They are not sure. They weren't sure what to say, what narrative, and they're using excuses. And if this was it, they would be promoting, oh, there could be an alien, there could be this, there could be that. They were not ready. They were not ready for this. And they've had months. They started seeing this in early summer. And this is the best they can do now. This is the best that they can do. So I do believe are going to have the Project Bluebeam. They have the technology to do that now. But you have to understand, whatever the government is loud about, understand that's the psyop. That's the deception. If they're not saying anything, that's where you know where the truth lies. Okay? So this is kind of how you have to work with when we're dealing with the government, when we're dealing with these people. You got to start using discernment and understand. I 100% believe in Project Bluebeam. They would be reacting differently if this was Project Bluebeam. We wouldn't have got that dusty live stream from NASA that the entire world is laughing at if this was Project Bluebeam. It's supposed to be closest to Earth on December 19th. They said we don't even have to worry about it. They first said it came from it came from our solar system. They have changed their story so many times. And there's really a code of silence through some of the scientific community, because I've told you guys, it's like a cult. If you speak on creation, if you don't believe in evolution, if you don't believe the official narrative, then you're ostracized from that community. So some people are just very cautious about speaking out, but a lot have. So we can listen to some more of what he's got going on.
It's kind of weird. I'm not ignoring the super chats. I am just working on doing, talking to you guys with the stream. And if I had StreamYard, I could go back and look at them. Here we go. One from Atomic Flip. Thank you, bro. Brilliant job comparing the amateur astronomers' photos versus NASA's. What an absolute embarrassment. Yeah. So, but this is interesting that we get this Mars right there. So let's actually download this. Should be able to just go right here. Download this GIF.
Okay, so he's still going on, but let's look at, you guys want to see some of these comments that people are saying? Let's make it big so you guys can see it bigger. What does this say here? Independent astronomers are the real source of space info from now on. How can a remote robotics telescope produce a better image shoningly of 3iAtlas than her something, whatever, did? It is a high resolution one. Moreover, it was the closest to the interstellar object on October 2nd when this image was captured. Okay, we're just scrolling through. The only photo that NASA presented, and it didn't even answer the big question, if it's an alien spacecraft, despite the question, a disgrace. NASA knows things and continues to hide them. So guys, these are like people, scientists, astronomers, amateurs regular people who believe in NASA, they believe in space. These are not even the tinfoil people like, they want to call us. All right. These are, I don't know people's faith, but I'm just saying they don't have that same belief. And they are even saying that this is dumb. Last call before the chart wakes up. I think this is, I don't know what that's in reply to. Again, people are comparing NASA's images to amateur photographers. Love seeing NASA get roasted over the 3iAtlas image they release. Why make a big deal out of a blurry image taken by a potato? Whack. Oh, child, this is wild. All right, this is somebody talking. There was something I wanted to show you guys. It reloaded. Oh, people are just people are being funny, just posting different things. Some people are still, oh my goodness, NASA. Oh my goodness. One doesn't know whether to laugh or cry because someone put, wow, NASA, because this is the other image that they put out. That little tiny thing. Hubble can capture distant galaxies, yet tonight they're serving us blurry amateurist images. Even hobby astronomers take better shots. The clowns in your video are just embarrassing. Amazing. A homemade telescope outperforming NASA's cutting edge technology. Truly impressive. Congratulations. Science has officially left the building. 13 anomalies completely dismissed. Remember I told you about the 13 anomalies, and I want to get that list. By the way, this is the long awaited high rise, I think that's what it is, image of 3iAtlas. Ridiculous comedy by NASA. Missed funding. Here's what you're missing. So they were saying they didn't get funding, but they said in the live stream that they were working during that time. But somehow the government stopped them. The photo taken by, I think it's supposed to say by NASA of the 3iAtlas, and they have the meme of the person just looking like, what? Okay. One has to admit now that NASA can be written off. This is your best picture of 3iAtlas. Good grief. You better just shut down your shack. That's embarrassing to the power of 3. I want to see what people are saying about NASA, like under their act, because they live streamed it on X as well. They didn't turn off the comments there because I don't think you can do that. Let me go to their live stream that they just did and see what people are saying. Hold on. This is humiliating. Okay. This is under the official account. I'll show you here. This was from their live stream. Thanks for your questions. Our content releases were paused during the government shutdown. Now that we're fully operational again, we're excited to share multiple images of the comet with you today. Lies. This person says, I'm sorry, but if we can see grains of sand on Mars, how is this the clearest photo we can get for 3iAtlas? Thanks for your question, Alcarat. We answered it live on air. Oh, wait, are they gonna, I don't know if that's gonna take us directly to it. Oh, is this actually Elon Musk? Yeah, it's the Elon Musk putting aliens. He doesn't even believe it. He knows they're lying. Like he sees it. He knows it. He knows the game. He knows the game that they're playing. Someone put, when is the mothership arriving? I was promised October 29th. That was weeks ago. I heard it was everywhere. It's December 19th. Yeah, they're going to say the comet looks like this, aren't they? Yeah, they pretty much. Any explanation about the anti-tail? No, they didn't go through any of the anomalies. This is broken and defied all laws of physics, all laws of space, whatever they want to. It's insane. If they aren't better quality than this, I'm calling BS. Well, they weren't better quality. Ever so often, the galaxy sends a mysterious guest just to remind us of how tiny we are. Grab your telescopes. This is cosmic tea time. I think this is before they did their live streams. So I'm looking at the timing of these. If I can take these photos from my backyard with no fancy editing, then surely you can take clearer photos of the alien spaceship. So you're saying it's not an alien mothership carrying 5 million sleeping Draco reptilian soldiers? Bummer. Yeah. Okay, so some of the people are just like debunking them and posting different things. But let's hear what Stefan is saying again.
Telescope to face 3iAtlas for quite a way as it travels out of the solar system. So let's go to our Sky Live here. Let's remove the other two interstellar objects, Oumuamua, Borisov. We don't need them. If we look at this, this is 3iAtlas on December 6th, okay? So let's put this back to today, the 19th. Definitely, in general, I mean, okay, so I looked at the...
Wait, I want to show you this real quick, and then we'll get back into it. This guy is saying, I did not know this. I can try to get more information. It says NASA dismissed 1/3 of the employees in the division directly associated with the Hubble. Why is this occurring at the very moment when something inexplicable is traveling through the solar system? Is anyone prepared to provide a clear explanation? So they got rid of 1/3 of the employees in that division. And then they come out with this mess. Okay. Trust the government, guys. They love us. NASA loves us. They're not lying. Anything else is tinfoil. It's conspiracy theory. You're crazy. You're a religious nut. Okay.
As you guys saw in the live stream, I'm seeing people's responses on Twitter because I posted the images on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and then also this live stream. And it's almost like 90% of everybody's pretty disappointed right now. So they did not win. They did not have a home run knockout with that press conference. Yeah, they've lost a lot of trust clearly. Whether you think it's a comet, aliens, whatever, if we're just stepping back and just analyzing NASA as like an organization, maybe they focus on this, they focus on that, they've done all these things, but as it relates to public perception, they're in the gutter right now. Absolutely in the gutter. But okay, so James Webb is orbiting around Earth, right? That's one of our best deep space telescopes, like basically our best deep space telescope. And if we go back here really quick, James Webb gave us that image of 3iAtlas back August 6th. So super pixely and blurry, didn't really tell us anything. Now though, and maybe it'll just continue to give us that sort of imagery. Now the 3iAtlas is going to be moving away like this. And right here is cutting across our frame pretty quickly, but during this stretch right here, we'll see the date here, it'll be like March, February, March, April. This is going to be a really good time for James Webb to observe 3iAtlas because our viewing angle relative is not changing much. It's going to be fairly static. Let's go back a couple months, right? We start to have to move our telescope less and less, like especially right here, the relative change is minor, so we'll be able to stack the images better. And then it's also still close in. Now, what they're going to do, almost certainly, is that they're going to observe it as best they can, tracking it all the way out. So eventually it'll reach Saturn. Looks like that'll be the end of 2026, maybe middle to end of 2026. Right here, reaches the orbit of Saturn. Eventually it's going to go out to Uranus, Neptune, and we'll keep tracking it, I imagine, with James Webb as it continues to go out like this. So if I even pause this, we see that's out beyond Uranus, October 2027. It finally reaches Neptune's orbit in 2028. And then it's out beyond Pluto's orbit here, as you can see, in 2029. So they're going to want to track how 3iAtlas changes as it moves now further away from the sun. And this is now a long-term mission because it's going to take some time. Even though it's moving the fastest, it's along that ecliptic plane. It's going to continue to get hit. It's going to, I'm not sure how well we're going to be able to observe it once it's at the heliosphere boundary, which is like 100 AU out. But if I go forward out like this, yeah, that takes us to 2041. It's still in our solar system. So they're going to be tracking this as best they can, going all the way out so we can get a better sense of what this thing is. But also by then, we're probably going to have other interstellar objects that have flown in. And, you know, the alien people are going to drum it right back up to, we got aliens, they're back. The aliens are back. They're not done with us. We'll have to see. Who knows? Maybe. But the press conference is kind of disappointing. If I just have to share my thoughts, I feel like they could have done a better job at giving us some information that we didn't know. Like everything that they said was really stuff that we already knew. They ideally, or even they can speculate a little bit. It's not a problem to speculate. If you say, hey guys, like, okay, we don't have the answer, but if we had to, you know, kind of give a lean in a direction, we would say that it's probably this large, or maybe it's from this system, right? Like if anyone is going to have the, they release all this imagery and data saying, hey, we're the best because we have all this, right? But then they're not going to provide any new updates or even possibilities of like how old it is or where it's from. That's kind of the questions that people want to know, right? If you watch the Q&A, all the people are asking like, where is this from? How old is it? What is the size? Is it technology? And they just kind of skirted around those. So yeah, it was fun though. I had a great time. I hope you guys had a fun time with it. I had a good time, but it doesn't look like anything revolutionary has happened with 3iAtlas as a result of the NASA live stream. But it will be interesting, mark my words now, it will be interesting to see how people start to spin this, because there are a few spinsters out there. Maybe you think I'm one of them. That's fine. You're entitled to think whatever you want. But there are definitely some spinsters out there that'll take the tiniest image, shred of information, whatever, and turn it into a huge thing. In general, I'm just doing my best to report on what's happening, not to make fake stories. But it's going to be interesting to see what sort of back of the napkin calculations get spun up as a result of this, and then using that to infer properties of 3iAtlas. Effectively, this is what we can say. None of this information here, as far as I can tell, or, you know, we'll have to wait and see. But as far as I can tell, based off my research, everything I've been doing into this, informing you guys, it does not change at all what we know about this. So there's no fresh update on this in terms of size, where it's from, what it may be. There's really no update. It's just, here's all our images that we should have been releasing to you when we had them, but instead we didn't do it until now. So that's kind of the bigger disappointment, is that we had this shut down in the United States, and you know, they were shut down, but they weren't shut down. You know, all this ambiguity. Who knows what the truth is? It's all over the place. So yeah, fun was had by all except for Dr. Shazam on the left. Yeah, that guy didn't say anything after the beginning. He was dead quiet. He's like, I know that this is spiraling, and I'm just going to sit here and eventually I'll be done. Yeah. Yeah, so exactly. They sat on the imagery and there was no reason to sit on it. That's the thing. So a little disappointing. We can see what Twitter is saying really quick, and then I'm going to sign off. Is this what 20 billion a year gets us? Yes, it is. Oh man, this is funny. I've had I've had a great time with this live stream. It's been a blast, at least for me. I hope you guys have had fun. This is my Twitter post on it. Best image of 3iAtlas from the live stream. Or how about this one? This is their ultraviolet image. I wonder if they show the size of that to give us a size estimate for Maven here.
Okay, so I'm going to play for you guys. I'm going to add into here because his is pretty much done now. But like I told you, the scientific community, everyone's laughing. NASA has lost all credibility. There is nothing left. Nothing left. Okay? They can give us nothing else. But I'm going to take you through some other videos that I've played, what people have been saying leading up to this, to give you an idea of how perplexing and how really terrified I believe a lot of scientists have been, because they all know the truth. So let me add this in. All right, we're going to shut that down. And I'm going to play this for you.
We need to talk about 3iAtlas. We really need to talk. I've got some information that you should not ignore. I want to tell you the facts first, and then I'm going to show you some of my favorite pictures of this bad boy. Now, guys, for clear evidence of this, we're going to go back to Avi Loeb's blog. I know some of you guys don't like Avi Loeb, and that's okay, but I'm going to tell you what, he is the one guy who is keeping the most complete public record of what's happening with 3iAtlas. So here we are at his blog again. Check out what he said. He says images, and this is his most recent entry. He says images taken of 3iAtlas on November the 11th, 2025 show a single body with no evidence of breakup following the perihelion passage 2 weeks earlier. The images reported here were taken by David Jewett and Jane Liu on the Nordic Optical Telescope. They are at it is at La Palma in the Canary Islands. 3iAtlas did not break up going around the sun. A lot of people thought it would. They said, no, it's just a comet. A comet is made of ice and snow and rocks and maybe interstellar trash. Okay, those would have been destroyed to some degree or other. That did not occur here. This thing is still solid. It's still in one piece. It is still intact, and it's doing defiant things. So 3iAtlas is pointing a jet. Boom. It has a tail, a jet pointing toward the sun, not away from it, as a normal comet would, but pointing directly at it. The jet is pointing toward the sun. North is the top, east is to the left, and the image region is approximately 500,000 kilometers wide. This thing is still ejecting material, but is still solid, is still in one piece. How is it holding together? That's not an easy answer. This is that image again, and look, this is 3iAtlas, and this is the jet of material that is being ejected at the sun. The sun is over here. 3iAtlas is spitting this at the sun. Look at it. What is that? This again, this is the object itself. This is 3iAtlas, and this is the, on this side is the sun, and I guess that's a little bit of the jet going that way. You know, there are rules that govern everything, right? Rules that tell you what a thing is, what a thing is not, what a thing does, what a thing doesn't do. 3iAtlas keeps breaking all those rules. And if it's doing that, then we really don't know what it is. What is it going to do between now and December the 19th? That's something we don't know either. It'll be its closest to Earth on December the 19th. What do you
December the 19th, I've told you guys. I mean, they think that we're just stupid. Honestly, they do. Now, this is a update that this guy did, and I have a bunch of updates from people, but we're just gonna keep going.
Let me share some new information with you about 3iAtlas, information which you should not ignore. 3iAtlas is doing something new. You knew it was going to do that, didn't you? Now, the new thing 3iAtlas is doing is visible in some new photos which dropped on Saturday, November the 8th. Let me show you the pictures. So guys, this single picture is a composite of pictures put together by 3 different astronomers. They published this on Saturday, November the 8th. I'm going to back out of the way, but have a look at this. A complex jet structure emanates from 3iAtlas after perihelion. Look at these lines here. Here, there. Astronomers are telling us that there are at least 7 jets of gas or plasma are now emanating from 3iAtlas. Some of them are pointing toward the sun, some of them are pointing away from the sun. This is not something that comets typically do. It's very uncomet-like. Opinion time coming up. And here you can see that picture in its natural state. This is not the negative. In my opinion, guys, this is not a comet, right? This is not a comet. And I think we just need to go ahead and admit that to ourselves. Why can I say it's not a comet? Because it does things that comets don't do. Most of the comets that we're aware of probably wouldn't have even survived that trip around the sun. Most of them just break up and disintegrate, and they puff away, and we say, oh, that was a great comet. This one not only survived, it got brighter and brighter as it went. It turned blue, and then, bam, it's powered its way from behind the sun with its own non-gravitational acceleration. It's not a typical comet. I don't think this is a comet. All right, Mr. Smart Guy, then what is it? I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I think it's okay if we admit that we don't know what it is. There are going to be times when we encounter the unknown. I think this is one of those times. I think that a number of the scientists who are observing it also believe that this is just one of those times when we get an unknown on our hands. And that's a chance for us all to learn something. By the way, 3iAtlas is going to be making its closest approach to Earth on December the 19th. That's when it'll be the closest to our planet that it's ever been. I wonder what it's going to do then. Let me know what you think in the comments.
You guys, don't worry about the captions. Those are like auto captions. So that's happened to me before. And of course, I'm doing some glitchy stuff now. I'm glitching already again. But here's another thing.
Let me share some new information with you about 3iAtlas, information which you should not ignore. 3iAtlas is doing something new. You knew it was going to do that, didn't you? Now, the new thing 3iAtlas is doing is visible.
Wait, is this the one I played already? Hold on. Did I play this? Did I play that one? Hold on. I don't think I did. Wait, let me just see. Hold on.
We need to talk about 3iAtlas.
Okay, I think I did that one. Did I do
in
this
some
one?
new photos which dropped on Saturday, November the 8th. Let me show you the pictures. So guys, this single picture is
Okay. Yeah, we did that already. Hold on. I got a different one that I thought I put in here. Is this the one? Let's
Let me
see.
share the very latest with you about 3iAtlas. New information which you should not ignore. Did you all know that 3iAtlas is spinning? Yes, it is rotating constantly, regularly, and it still has those 7 tails that you heard about earlier. Check it out, Avi Loeb's blog, The Continuing Saga of Anti-Tails and Tails Around 3iAtlas. Check out, if you look here, you can see some of the latest photos. This one right here shows 3iAtlas and a few of those tails. Here's the anti-tail heading toward the sun. Here are a couple that are heading in other directions. Again, there are 7 tails. 2 more interesting facts for you guys. 3iAtlas is rotating every 16 hours. Boom, 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 every 16 hours. If it's rotating every 16 hours, how can it be putting out 7 tails that don't change, that stay at the same place? That's another mystery. Professor Loeb discusses it in his blog. I recommend that you read it just to go over it. Lots of others are giving opinions on it as well. And the last bit of information for you, 3iAtlas is emitting radio signals. 3iAtlas is emitting radio signals at 1.66 gigahertz. A lot of the observers who've been taking note of that are saying that it simply means that there's a presence of hydrogen and oxygen coming out of 3iAtlas. No one is talking about messages being sent that way, at least not yet. Something we got to keep an eye on. What do you think of these latest anomalies? By the way, Professor Loeb says there's 12 anomalies now. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.
So no, guys, don't say he doesn't know what he's talking about. Yes, he does. Yes, he does, because everybody else that isn't NASA agrees. Okay. This thing stays glitching. But guys, so I wanted to bring you that. This is just, I don't know what to say. If you believe NASA, God bless your heart. I have a bridge to sell you. I really do. Please, I have a bridge to sell you. Pullman fan 7. Thank you for your super chat. It says, thanks for covering the story, Melanie. You're a fabulous and valuable journalist. I am not a journalist, guys. I thank you for seeing me that way, but I'm just a common sense person that just, I just cannot believe the narrative anymore. But thank you. Katie Melton 543 says they think we're stupid. They still don't know how they want to use this for a false flag. I said that. I do believe Project Bluebeam. I believe they're going to do that. Look at me glitching too. I believe they're going to do all of that. But I knew when NASA is quiet, when the government's quiet, listen, whatever they are pushing the most in front of you, that's the psyop. That's where they want you looking. That's where they want you distracted. That's where the chaos will be. When they are silent, trust me, they're trying to figure it out. And the best they could do was drag those bureaucrats out there that didn't know what they were talking about and to gaslight us. That's what they did. That's what they did. So I don't know. December 19th, I'm going to take everybody else's, research and data over NASA. And I think we have proof now that we can do that. Thank you, Joni Lennon, for your super chat there, guys. So I will be back. I'm going to do a live stream again tonight. I'm going to try to do a couple videos before that. We'll see, but I will definitely be here for a live stream tonight. We'll be doing it on Melanie Off Script as well as here. Then we're going to jump more onto Melanie Off Script, but I've been working on the computer trying to look, I'm still glitching. Look at this. Glitchy. I don't think I can use the system that I'm using anymore. StreamYard is just, they use Cloudflare. If you don't remember, guys, X went down yesterday and a Chat GPT, a whole bunch of different things. And it has just been a mess on my system since then. So they use the same Cloudflare. Okay. So I've been having all of these glitches, but we will be back. We're going to get more into finish up what we talked about the Tartaria. And then I'm going to give you some updates on the Stargate, AI, all that stuff that we need to be looking at. I think there is an update, or at least I can show you some more stuff about the third temple being built. I can show you more of the coin that Trump is on. And even when I told you guys, I believe that he converted to Judaism. People have put out videos about it. And I have no opinion on that either way, but I just want to give you that information because a lot of people are confused about what's going on in our government, what's going on with the right, the left, MAGA, all, America First, all of these different things, right? But I want you to always keep in mind, whatever is trending, whatever they're talking about the most, whatever people are quiet about, that is the thing that we need to be looking at. And when you put all these signs and wonders together, when you see all of Bible prophecy coming true, and in 3i, and now I think I'm actually grateful NASA did this in this way. It is going to open even more eyes to the lies that are going on. Why are you still glitchy, sir? I've closed everything. I'm just kind of can't use the system anymore. But understand, I actually think they did us a favor because the more eyes are going to be open, and more people who are scientists, astronomers that don't believe in the stuff we're saying, they're going to be looking at this now because they know without a doubt that this was a bunch of lies. They now know. Right? So we're going to see what else comes out. I'm going to be checking for this all day. I'm going to see if people make videos and what the chatter is about. So make sure you guys are here tonight. I believe I'm going to do it probably 9 p.m. Eastern time, maybe sooner, but I'll give you guys enough warning. I'll have it like sitting there so you guys will have the countdown and knowing when it's going to start. But until then, guys, make sure you subscribe. I appreciate my moderator, Jordan. Again, if you're looking to be a moderator, leave a comment in the video. And not the live stream, but the actual video. Let me know that you would like to be a moderator because, can't put everything on Jordan, who's an OG, who's been with me since day one. But with that, guys, yeah. Is it confirmed? Are we the 10 full hat wearers, or is NASA? You tell me.